Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
I'm so excited to be back here with you today.
I know.
So I'm Dr. Dana.
I'm Laura.
And we are Business Besties of Branson.
Yep.
And we're so excited to be doing this podcast.
And this is going to be a good one, too, because we're going to talk about what we just did last week.
Yes.
And for the next 7 weeks.
Oh, yeah. So it's an 8-week course. So just to let our listeners know, we're doing the small business, gosh, I don't even know. The name's not on here. Isn't that terrible?
Well, it's SB. I don't know. It's through Mizzou or Missouri Southern.
It's through Missouri State University.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. And it's about owning your own business and like how to start your business and things you need to know about your business.
Right.
So you and I have already started our business.
Right.
And you're well into your business.
Well, and the funny thing is when they went around the room and talked about it, you and I were the only one who actually already had a business.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Whitmore kind of has a business. He's still getting going. But everybody else was just wanting to start a business.
Right.
And then when they ask questions, you and I are like, okay, we need to throttle it in because we know the answers to these things, but what is everyone else going to say?
Right. And some of them have started or they're just at the beginning stages of starting. Because we met with the microgreens lady.
Yes,
and
right.
she has a business going. But a lot of them are in their early stages. Mm-hmm. So when I first saw this come up, and, we should let people know, if you're thinking about a business, there's lots of free classes. This is a free 8-week course, right? And it's through the Chamber of Commerce. Free. Like, I'm all about free. And if you're starting your own business, you can do it for free. Like, you can get all this information for free. Mm-hmm. So I really loved it. And I think as we were talking earlier, what I loved most about it is that it sets 2 hours aside for us to just think about our business. Yeah. So we are go from the minute I wake up till the minute I go to sleep. It's Rogue Chef this, Rogue Chef that. And maybe I get to look at a TikTok or something, but I doubt it.
And if you do, you're like, how could I do that for the Rogue Chef?
Yes, that's it. Exactly. Exactly. And usually it's like, how can I learn to do something different? Yeah. And that's when I'm on social media. But this allows us to go into a room with other people who want to run a successful business and then just think about our business. Yeah. Just talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think it was helpful for you starting a new business too.
Oh, absolutely. Because even though I've got this one business going, I'm starting a new business and it's a completely different business. And some of the questions they asked, I'm like, ooh, those are really, really good questions. Now, I'll tell you one, I'm going to skip ahead a little. One of the things, because we're talking about setting the foundation for building your business plan. I've been working on this business plan now for several weeks for this new business, and I'm like literally, I think 16 pages of my own typing. And then I'm like, okay, I want to look at, competition nationally and locally and look at all this research. And then when I go to here, they're like, yeah, you don't need all that. And I'm like, it's good to have it for myself, absolutely. Right. But in the big picture of things, at what point do you say, I need to pull back because this is all I need to get my grants. This is all I need to get my funding.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that until you attended this. No. And you are an established business, right? And then starting a new business. So it's not like just because you run a business, you know everything.
Right. Oh, absolutely not.
Yes, God, no. I do not know everything.
No.
I do not know anything some days.
Yeah. In fact, the more we get to this, the less I know.
I'm feeling that too. We bring people in. I'm like, I didn't know that. What am I doing trying to run my own business? I know. Right? So I think that gives encouragement, though, to other people. Like, you don't know what you're doing? That's okay. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going because you're going to learn.
Yes.
Did they teach you this in high school? No. Did they teach you this in college? No. Look, I got, 100 degrees, right? And they didn't teach me any of this. So
yet here we are.
And here we are. I always say, like, well, they didn't teach me that in doctorate school. And people look at me, like, well, I'm not kidding. They didn't. Like, I don't know how to cook carrots. I don't know how to cook any of this. Right. That's not my degree, right? But I am learning, and I love learning.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah,
I do too.
Yeah,
I
think that's why we get along so well.
I do too, and I think, okay, so like, what do you do? Just a little side note. What do you do? Because you are such a stinking smart person. What do you do when you want to just like relax or shut your brain down?
Man, it's hard. It's really, really hard to do that. I love to take trips and go somewhere. So like if we just take a drive down to Eureka Springs, sometimes that'll help me get my mind somewhere else. Like suddenly I'm like, I need these shoes. Oh my God, I have to have these shoes. And then all I can think about is a pair of shoes at this one store that I can't find anywhere else, but I got to go see these shoes. So that allows my brain to like refocus on something else. But for the most part, my brain shut down.
Shut down.
No. How about you?
Well, mine is, I'm not into shopping.
Right.
I'm really not into driving either.
Yes.
This is really stupid, but I play either Sudoku, I don't know how to pronounce that,
Right.
The little number game on the phone, or one of these games where you like put these puzzle pieces together to kind of like a Tetris type of thing.
Right.
Stupid things. They're like mind-numbing, and I don't have to think about anything else.
Yep.
But they only last for a few minutes.
This is true.
So
this
it's
is
like,
true. So I would have to confess, I'm a Candy Crush
okay,
kind of gal.
okay.
And I'm like way over the top and levels, but it's an addiction problem for me because if I get started on Candy Crush, it'll be like you do TikTok. You're suddenly like, how did an hour go by? How did 2 hours
go by?
It is, and I have to stay focused because if I don't, then stuff starts to pile up. I get emails. and I just cannot keep up. So.
Well, the reason why I asked that was because it seems like when your mind is going and going and going all the time, there has to be a moment of giving your brain a break.
This is true.
And especially with the business, because like we were saying, even though you may be on TikTok, you cannot tell me that you don't go, oh my God, I love how they did this.
Yes.
This is what I need to do. Oh, look at this song. Even though you're trying to you're still thinking about your business.
I am.
Yeah.
I watch little wiener dog videos, and then I'm like, oh, what if I could do that with food? Like, Jeff, could you bring in the food? Like they're bringing in this wiener dog, And he's like, can you just watch a wiener dog and say it's cute? I'm like, oh yeah, this little wiener dog's really, really cute. Yeah. However,
Yeah, right.
I'm always that way.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So, all right. So back to the thing. Sorry about that little thing.
No, but it's good to think about.
It does, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Back to that class, helping you to stop and focus.
Absolutely.
And
you absolutely have to be purposeful about what you're doing because we don't have time clocks. Nobody's, we're not clocking in and now it's time to go. I taught for 26 years, so I have to be ready to go at a certain time. Bell rings, we're doing the next one. Bell rings, we're doing the next one. By the end of the day, I'm like, whew. Done.
Yeah.
Except for I go home and then I do all kinds of other things.
Right.
Which is a whole nother thing that I don't miss anymore.
Right.
But as a business owner, you don't do that. You don't have to clock in. You don't have to, do these things. So you have to purposefully focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing they had on our list that we were supposed to answer?
So I pulled this up because they gave some myths and realities of small business ownership. And so we had to kind of go through and say, is this true or false? True or false? And this one really got me to thinking this week, which is another good thing about this because you do it on Thursday. And now here we are on Tuesday, and I'm still thinking about what we talked about.
Sure.
So then when we meet again on Thursday, I might say hey, you know what? I thought about this. And you should know, right?
Right.
Or I get to have a conversation with you,
right?
And then you say, "No, Dana, you're crazy," or you say, "Yeah, but I think," or you're right. So, some of these questions, number one, starting a new business can be a huge personal sacrifice for your family.
Absolutely,
of course.
Yes. For you and everybody you know.
Yes.
Everybody, not just family, friends. Kid down the street, I don't know.
Oh, I know. Everybody knows.
It affects everybody.
It does.
Because it's a huge time drain.
It is. It is.
So it is going to affect everything.
But to remember, so is a job. If you're
Absolutely.
working 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, that's a huge strain on your family as well. So you have to think about, do I want to run it myself or do I want to do what somebody else is doing?
Right.
Right. So, of course, that answer, was true. There are a lot of emotional ups and downs.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure what there is more of. Is there more up or more down?
I don't know. But you know what I love most about it is having a friend that I can call and say, what am I doing?
I remember yesterday I texted you. I said, can you talk?
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, here's the deal, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it was so nice to be able just to bounce everything off of you and hear your input. And it's like, okay, all right.
I know. And you had called me with one decision and then talked it through and like, nope, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, so, which is good because you're right. We just need to talk it through with somebody.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded good in my brain. And then when I'm talking it out, I'm like, I think this is not the direction I'm going to go.
Right.
But okay, that was it. Just
I agree.
Ups and downs, you have to have someone to bounce it off of.
Because you could feel alone quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And like a failure quickly.
Oh, yeah. And I think even if you're doing a sole proprietorship, you have to have support.
Absolutely.
And we talked about that in that class. You have to have support. Who is your support system? So, you and I have actually a really big support system.
We do.
Yeah.
And it's getting bigger. Like the more women we meet, the more events we go to, which is what I would definitely encourage people to do. Like go to these free events, go to these chamber meetings, go and meet people.
Yes.
That is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
The best way. I thought that as a teacher, I was part of the community. No, it wasn't. And now I'm feeling like, wow, I'm just meeting some people in the community, and I want to be a part of this community.
Yes, it's a great community.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Yes.
And there's some truly, truly wonderful people that we would have never met otherwise.
Oh, absolutely.
If we weren't doing these free things and doing all of this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about how many women we met when we made our little Christmas. Oh, that was so much fun.
It was fun.
It was.
I know.
It was fun. And it didn't take not even 2 hours out of our time.
No.
But I will say, I had to step out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't want to go meet new people. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I like to stay in my little seat, doing my little email, writing the blogs, making recipes, whatever it is that I do, right? I just want to stay right there. So sometimes you have to talk yourself into like, let's go.
I know.
And you can socialize so well.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
My biggest thing is, because I am not a girly girl or anything like that, my biggest insecurity with it is like, I'm probably not going to fit in because I'm fat and I don't dress up, but I sure love to talk and meet people. So I go regardless. And then I'm like, I look around, I'm like, I'm the fattest one here. All right. So my weight loss will just be that much more dramatic in the future.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny? And isn't that funny how we think these things?
I know, because probably nobody else cares. Like,
no.
Who cares?
No.
People are too self-absorbed to look at everybody else.
I think so,
they're
too.
They're just whatever. So, but those are the things that I think all women have, their insecurities and
I agree.
And their things. And
if we can just get in their head for one moment, we'd be like, oh, I'm good now. Or we would say, hey, you got this. Let's go together,
Well, it's funny because we're doing that vision board party this Friday.
Yes.
And you were like, so are we getting a talk or anything? I'm like, whatever we do. Right. I'm just
way back and relaxed. But for me, I'm a teacher. So I'm like, should I get this little PowerPoint together? And do I need to have things to hand out? And should I say number one, here, we're doing this. Number two, we're doing this. And you're like, let them just do it. I'm like, okay, Dana, just breathe.
I'm like, as long as we have food and drinks, we're good.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
And
we have a lot of people coming so far.
I know. I can't believe it.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I am excited. So a couple more things that they had here. Boy, we like to go down these little.
I know.
But it's an insight to what we think.
I know. I know. And welcome to the woman's brain.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
It's everywhere.
Absolutely. But if we weren't everywhere, we wouldn't be getting stuff done.
Oh, Lord have mercy. No.
I can't imagine just focusing on one thing and getting it done.
Yeah.
I'm constantly.
No.
Like Jeff will say, how many tabs do you have open on that computer? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe 100. Yeah.
Because I don't want to forget that one.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes.
And it always reminds me, I got that to do. I've got that to do.
Mm-hmm.
If I get time, I'm going to hit this website and get this done.
God forbid the computer crashes.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Oh,
all right, what's next on our list there?
So another one was number 3. You have to, quote, get it right, unquote, every time.
No.
Okay.
Part of the time would be great.
Yes, this is true. And as I've said before, I'm a perfectionist. So I feel the pain of this because I'm like, I need this right. I need this to be perfect. I need this right. And then everything kind of evolves. I look back at the first menu I created, and then as it's evolved to where it is, I'm like, I can't believe I was giving this out to people, you know. But you do want to get it perfect every time. But if you can accept that, it's just not going to happen.
Well, and the thing is also that if you would have waited for it to be perfect, first of all, you'd have never been in business.
True.
Second of all, it evolves because as you are in business and you're doing these events and you're talking to people, you are exposing yourself to more things and more ideas and styles, and then that it just makes everything evolve, within your own business. So
I think that's perfect. And I love that if you wait for perfection, you will never run a business. Never. Just jump in and go. Yeah. I started using Google Calendar, and the first one I sent, I'm like, oh, is it right? Like, I tested it with my mom and dad. Like, I'm going to send you like 4 of these. And my dad's like, decline. I'm like, look, could you just accept? He's like, I don't want to go to your dinner. I'm like, okay, I'm not really going to host your dinner, right?
Hilarious. Well, you sent me a few, and I was like, I'm just going to press yes. I'm like, does this work? I didn't even know what to do. I'm like, well, she'll tell me if it worked or not.
It does work.
Okay,
and
good.
It stays on my phone calendar, and I've got it on the computer. And so I set up for our Business Besties podcast every Tuesday morning.
Nice.
So then I can, like, if I'm making a schedule or somebody's asking me, doctor's appointment, whatever, I can remember, oh, yeah, I got the podcast that morning. Instead of that's one more thing I have to keep in my brain.
Right.
So it does help. Okay, so number 4, you do not need a big cash reserve to be successful.
That was one of those things that everyone kind of talked about because it's really nice. Also, it depends on the business. Some businesses don't need a big cash reserve.
Right.
Microgreens business lady, she doesn't need to have thousands and thousands of dollars to start that business.
True.
And with her, it's like, wow, you talk about growth. As she sells things, she can buy more things and keep investing in that. Your business, you got to have a cash reserve. You're talking equipment, you're talking employees, you're talking licenses. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
That's true.
You're going to need a cash reserve.
We also don't have a brick and mortar, so that makes a difference too in a small business.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's a yes and no.
It is a yes and no.
The more money you can have, though, the easier it is.
Money always makes things easier.
It does. And John and I have talked about this before. We've had people come to our training and we're like, if we had it to do over again, because we piecemealed it, we put money in and then just kept growing it and getting better equipment and better and bigger. If we could have started off like with a big cash inflow to begin with, to purchase the equipment we wanted from the get-go,
right?
How much further would we be ahead now?
That's true.
Because now we're able to offer better services and things because we have better equipment. And, so you have to look at it both ways. I know some people don't want to have debt. I personally don't have a problem with debt.
Right.
I don't, because if you're able to immediately go from the beginning and offer some great services and advertising and everything else, then debt is a good thing.
Yeah.
And it'll take care of itself.
It will. You'll be able to pay that off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you will. But I think it's individual and individual businesses.
Absolutely.
Some you need money. And if you're going to wait to get, $500,000 to start your business, well, you're never starting.
Yeah.
Right. No. So just get it started.
Right.
And then people will start to support your business because they'll see like, oh, you've done this, you've done that.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, sure, I'll throw a few $100s your way. Sure, I'll do this or
I'll
that.
take it. Thank you.
Yes. Please bring on the money. So money does help, but it's not always necessary. Number 5 says, after about a year, you can relax and enjoy the profits. Which we did chuckle about, didn't we?
I think everyone laughed at that one.
I think
that's
so,
a good one.
And that one connected with number 9. You will have more freedom, control, and work-life balance. I got to thinking about both of those. Our answer, of course, is like, no, you're not going to have more of this. No, you're not going to be able to enjoy the profits. No. But in reality, then what are you doing here?
Right.
So you have to think about the positives about running your own business too. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time. I don't have to deal with people above me telling me what to do. I don't have to deal with, students and parents and that kind of thing, right? Because that is what I did. So I do see the benefit in like, hey, we're working hard and now let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Instead of like, well, it'll be summer, but by summer I'm so exhausted from working all year that I can't really even enjoy the summer.
Right.
Or I have to think about how am I going to make money this summer.
Sure.
So I feel like with my own business, I do get to enjoy it a little bit more. Is there lots of profit? No, so don't like business owners shouldn't think like, oh, we're going to make tons of money this year. Right?
Yeah, you may not, but I think you have to come to within yourself a happiness of this is my happy place and I'm good within this. Because the reality is if you don't make any money, you're not going to be in business.
This is true.
So you have to have profit.
You do.
But what if it's a down year and you don't make $1 million?
Right.
But are you still in business? Yes. Are you still enjoying your business? Yes. Okay, so maybe it's just a frame of mind.
True. And how much money is enough money?
I haven't figured that out yet.
No, I know.
I know.
I talk to Jeff about that all the time. Like, okay, what do we need a month to live where we're living, to pay for the car, to pay for, this kind of stuff. And then what do we want to grow? How do we want to see?
Yeah.
Because if you keep taking all the money, put it back in your business, well, then you don't have any money for your own personal. You do have to take care of you.
Well, absolutely. And if you don't, then you're going to get burned out of your business real fast.
Absolutely.
So there has to be that balance.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be.
I think so too. So I just really enjoyed this class a lot. And I think we'll talk about more things that they, present to us. And, just this whole idea of like, let's get the facts straight. This isn't all wonderful, unicorns and rainbows and
hardly. But there is so many positives to owning a business. And I think you have to look beyond money. You have to look beyond time. You have to look at purpose and how it fills your life and the things that you want out of life. Because seriously, at the end of the day, when we're on our deathbed, we're not going, I wish I had one more day to go to the office.
Right.
No. But if you lived a life that you're like, you know what, I enjoyed the relationships I had, I enjoyed the people I connected with. I mean, that's a successful business right there.
Absolutely is.
So business is a lot more than money
and
time and all of that. And honestly, we should just enjoy it for what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. So,
and I think that's what we're doing.
I know.
Enjoying our businesses and working together and then bringing more people in, which I'm excited. We're going to interview somebody new now.
I know, because we have Stephanie here. She's in there waiting for us.
Hey, girl.
So we'll let this one go, and then I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.